Life often feels like a series of random events, but Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychologist, believed otherwise. He introduced the concept of synchronicity, the idea that meaningful coincidences are not just chance, but reflections of a deeper, interconnected reality. In this video, we will explore Jung's insights into why nothing in life happens by accident and how recognizing these hidden patterns can transform our understanding of destiny, consciousness, and personal growth. Carl Jung's fascination with meaningful coincidences began with his deep exploration of the human mind. As a psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, he worked closely with patients whose experiences often defied logical explanation. It was during these encounters that he noticed patterns, strange and symbolic events that seemed to align perfectly with his patients' inner psychological states. These were not mere accidents or random occurrences. They carried a significance that traditional science could not fully explain. One of the most famous examples of synchronicity in Jung's work involved a patient who was deeply rational and resistant to therapy. She was recounting a dream about receiving a golden scarab, an Egyptian symbol of transformation and rebirth. At that very moment, Jung heard a tapping at his window. When he opened it, he discovered a scarabæid beetle, an insect closely resembling the one in her dream. This was highly unusual, as that particular species was not native to the region. Stunned by the alignment between her inner world and external reality, the woman experienced a breakthrough in therapy, becoming more open to the process. Jung saw this as proof that coincidences were not always meaningless. Instead, they pointed to a mysterious order in the universe, an invisible web connecting thoughts, emotions, and external events. He called this principle synchronicity, defining it as the meaningful alignment of two or more events with no obvious causal connection. Unlike traditional cause and effect relationships, synchronicities appeared to arise from a deeper, causal principle, one that suggested an underlying intelligence in the cosmos. This concept challenged the dominant scientific worldview, which saw reality as a purely mechanical system, governed by random chance. Jung argued that life was far more intricate, and that human consciousness was not separate from the world around it. Instead, the psyche and the material world appeared to be intertwined in ways that could not be fully explained by classical physics. He believed that synchronicity was a glimpse into this hidden order, a sign that life was far more mysterious and meaningful than it appeared on the surface. Jung's ideas were deeply influenced by his studies in Eastern philosophy, alchemy, and quantum physics. He recognized parallels between synchronicity and ancient spiritual traditions, particularly Taoism and Buddhism, which spoke of an underlying harmony governing all things. The Taoist concept of the Tao, or the Way, described an invisible force that orchestrates the flow of life, aligning events in ways that seem purposeful yet spontaneous. Jung saw synchronicity as a modern psychological expression of this ancient wisdom, bridging the gap between science and spirituality. He also collaborated with physicist Wolfgang Pauli, a pioneer of quantum mechanics, who was fascinated by the idea that reality might be structured by deeper patterns beyond cause and effect. Their discussions explored how quantum physics, with its strange principles of entanglement and observer influence, might support the idea that consciousness and reality are fundamentally linked. For Jung, synchronicity was not just an abstract theory, but a living principle that played out in everyday life. He encouraged people to pay attention to these meaningful coincidences, seeing them as guideposts from the unconscious mind, or even the universe itself. These moments often signaled important psychological shifts, insights, or even life-changing decisions. The more one became aware of them, the more one could align with the deeper currents of existence, allowing life to unfold in a way that felt guided and purposeful. Jung's exploration of synchronicity naturally led him to the question of how the human mind and the universe interact. He rejected the idea that the psyche was a closed system, entirely contained within the brain. Instead, he proposed that consciousness was part of a much larger field, intimately connected to the fabric of reality itself. This view was revolutionary, as it suggested that our thoughts, emotions, and even dreams might not be confined to our personal experience, but could resonate with something much greater. At the heart of this idea was Jung's theory of the collective unconscious. Unlike the personal unconscious, which contains memories and experiences unique to an individual, The collective unconscious is a vast, shared repository of human experience filled with archetypes, universal symbols and patterns that shape our thoughts, behaviors, and perceptions. These archetypes appear in myths, religious traditions, and even in modern storytelling, revealing deep psychological structures that transcend culture and time. Jung believed that synchronicities occurred when events in the external world aligned with these inner archetypal patterns. For example, a person undergoing a major life transition might repeatedly encounter symbols of death and rebirth in books, films, or even casual conversations. These repetitions were not random. They reflected the deeper psychological transformation taking place within. The external world was mirroring the internal process, offering a form of guidance that could help individuals navigate their journeys. This perspective challenges the materialistic view of reality, which sees the universe as indifferent to human consciousness. Instead, it suggests that the psyche and the cosmos are engaged in a dynamic, ongoing dialogue. The mind is not simply a passive observer of the world, but an active participant in shaping experience. Thoughts, emotions, and intentions seem to influence reality in subtle ways, creating patterns that can be recognized as synchronicities. Many ancient traditions support this idea, viewing reality as a living, conscious entity rather than a cold, mechanical system. In Hindu philosophy, the concept of Lila describes life as a divine play, where events unfold with an underlying intelligence that transcends human understanding. Similarly, indigenous spiritual traditions often speak of the interconnectedness of all things, emphasizing that nature, dreams, and daily experiences are infused with meaning. Modern science is beginning to catch up with these ancient insights. Research in fields like quantum physics, parapsychology, and even neuroscience suggests that consciousness might play a more fundamental role in shaping reality than previously thought. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where particles remain mysteriously connected across vast distances, hints at an underlying unity in the fabric of existence. Some scientists and philosophers speculate that consciousness itself might be a fundamental force, interacting with reality in ways that we are only beginning to understand. Jung's work invites us to rethink the nature of reality and our place within it. If the mind and the universe are truly interconnected, then the events of our lives are not meaningless accidents, but reflections of a deeper order. By paying attention to synchronicities, we can begin to see the hidden patterns that guide our paths, offering insight, confirmation, and even transformation. These moments remind us that we are part of something greater, woven into the intricate tapestry of existence, where every thought, feeling, and experience has significance beyond what we can immediately perceive. In everyday life, synchronicities occur far more often than most people realize. The challenge is that many individuals dismiss these events as mere coincidences, failing to recognize their deeper significance. However, once a person becomes aware of the possibility that these meaningful alignments are not random, their perception of reality begins to shift. The world no longer appears as a chaotic sequence of unrelated events, but rather as a carefully woven tapestry in which everything happens for a reason. Recognizing synchronicity requires a heightened sense of awareness and openness. Often these moments appear in subtle ways, repeating numbers, symbols, unexpected encounters, or messages that seem to come at exactly the right time. For example, a person struggling with an important decision might suddenly come across a book, a quote, or a conversation that speaks directly to their dilemma. They may meet someone who offers precisely the advice they need to hear, or they may keep seeing the same symbolic imagery over and over in different contexts. These occurrences are not random. They are clues from the deeper intelligence that governs life, nudging the individual toward the right path. One of the most common forms of synchronicity is the repetition of numbers, sometimes referred to as angel numbers. Many people report seeing sequences like 1111, 222, or 333 on clocks, receipts, or license plates during moments of personal transformation or spiritual awakening. While skeptics argue that this is merely a psychological phenomenon known as the Baader-Meinhof effect, where the brain starts noticing something after it has been brought to attention, those who experience synchronicity often describe these repeating numbers as deeply meaningful. They seem to appear precisely when reassurance or confirmation is needed, as if the universe is providing a sign that one is on the right track. Synchronicity also manifests in relationships and human connections. There are countless stories of people meeting someone at the exact moment they were meant to, whether it be a romantic partner, a mentor, or a long-lost friend. Two individuals may cross paths in the most unexpected way, only to realize that they were somehow destined to meet. Jung himself believed that relationships were often influenced by synchronicity, especially when two people felt an immediate and profound connection, as if they had known each other before. This sense of familiarity, often referred to as déjà vu, may be a sign that certain souls are drawn together by forces beyond comprehension. Music, dreams, and artistic creations are also rich sources of synchronicity. A person may hear a song that speaks directly to their emotions or situation, as if the lyrics were written specifically for them. A dream may foreshadow an event that later comes true, serving as a premonition or message from the unconscious mind. Writers, musicians, and artists frequently describe the experience of being guided by an invisible force, where ideas, melodies, or images seem to appear out of nowhere. These creative inspirations often align with events in ways that defy explanation, reinforcing the idea that reality is shaped by an unseen intelligence. Another powerful way synchronicity reveals itself is through nature. Many spiritual traditions believe that the natural world communicates with humans through signs and omens. Animals, in particular, have long been associated with messages from the universe. A person struggling with an internal conflict may unexpectedly encounter an animal that holds symbolic meaning for their situation, such as a butterfly appearing during a period of transformation or an owl showing up when deep wisdom is needed. Ancient cultures relied on such signs to guide their decisions, interpreting the presence of certain animals, changes in the weather, or celestial movements as messages from the divine. Recognizing synchronicities requires a shift from skepticism to curiosity. Instead of dismissing meaningful coincidences, one must begin to ask, what is this experience trying to tell me? What lesson or insight can I gain from this moment? A useful practice is to keep a synchronicity journal, where unusual events, repeating symbols, and significant encounters are recorded. Over time, patterns begin to emerge, revealing the ways in which life is constantly communicating through signs. Meditation and mindfulness also help heighten awareness of synchronicities. When the mind is quiet and present, it becomes easier to notice the subtle connections between thoughts and external events. Many people report that when they enter a state of flow, whether through meditation, creative work, or deep contemplation, synchronicities increase. This suggests that the more aligned one is with their inner truth, the more the external world reflects that alignment through meaningful coincidences. Another important aspect of recognizing synchronicity is trusting intuition. Logic often dismisses strange coincidences as irrelevant, but the heart knows when something carries deeper meaning. The more one trusts their intuitive feelings about certain experiences, the more synchronicities become apparent. Over time, this trust strengthens, and life begins to feel more like a guided journey rather than a series of random events. Skeptics argue that synchronicities are simply a product of pattern recognition, the human brain's ability to find meaning in randomness. While it is true that humans are wired to detect patterns, the sheer frequency and deeply personal nature of synchronicities make them difficult to dismiss entirely. Many people experience these events at critical turning points in life, often when guidance is needed the most. If synchronicities were purely coincidental, why do they so often appear in moments of crisis, transformation, or personal evolution? Perhaps synchronicities serve as reminders that reality is not as rigid as it seems. They hint at the possibility that consciousness is far more powerful than we realize, and that the universe responds to our thoughts, emotions, and intentions in ways we do not yet fully understand. Whether one sees them as divine messages, reflections of the subconscious, or manifestations of a greater cosmic order, synchronicities invite us to look beyond the surface of everyday life and recognize the hidden connections that weave everything together. Ultimately, the ability to recognize synchronicities is a gift, one that deepens awareness, strengthens intuition, and fosters a greater sense of trust in life's unfolding. By paying attention to these meaningful coincidences, One begins to see the world as an intricate, interconnected web where nothing happens by chance. Everything, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, plays a role in the grand design of existence. Throughout history, many spiritual traditions and philosophical systems have recognized synchronicity as an essential part of the journey toward awakening and enlightenment. The idea that reality is deeply interconnected and that meaningful coincidences serve as guidance is not a new concept. From ancient mysticism to modern spiritual teachings, synchronicity is often seen as a sign that an individual is undergoing a shift in consciousness, a transformation that aligns them with a higher purpose. When a person experiences a spiritual awakening, they often begin to notice an increase in synchronicities. These events appear as if reality itself is responding to their thoughts, emotions, and inner growth. Many individuals describe the sensation of being in a flow state, where everything in life seems to align effortlessly. They meet the right people at the right time, stumble upon the exact knowledge they need, and experience an uncanny sense of guidance that defies logical explanation. This alignment suggests that synchronicities are not random, but rather a reflection of an individual's vibrational frequency, matching the greater intelligence of the universe. In many Eastern traditions, this phenomenon is closely related to the idea of karma and dharma. Karma, the law of cause and effect, suggests that our past actions, thoughts, and intentions shape the present and future. When a person experiences synchronicities, it can be seen as a sign that their inner world is in harmony with their soul's journey. Dharma, on the other hand, refers to one's true path or purpose in life. Many spiritual seekers report that the more they align with their dharma, the more synchronicities seem to appear, reinforcing the idea that they are moving in the right direction. Buddhism and Taoism also speak of an underlying order in reality. The concept of dependent origination in Buddhism suggests that all events are interconnected, that nothing exists in isolation, and that every action has ripple effects throughout existence. Similarly, Taoism teaches that there is a natural flow to the universe, often referred to as the Tao, which governs all things. The Tao is not something that can be controlled. It must be followed with trust and surrender. When a person begins to experience synchronicity, it may be a sign that they are beginning to move in harmony with this universal flow, rather than resisting it. Synchronicity also plays a significant role in personal transformation. Many people who undergo intense inner growth, healing, or deep self-reflection report a surge in meaningful coincidences. This often occurs because their perception has shifted. They are now more aware of the hidden patterns that have always been present but were previously ignored. As consciousness expands, so does the ability to recognize these connections, and what once seemed like mere chance is now understood as part of a larger spiritual design. One of the most profound aspects of synchronicity is that it often arrives in times of crisis, uncertainty, or major life transitions. When a person is at a crossroads, unsure of which direction to take, synchronicities can serve as subtle but powerful messages from the universe. These signs may come in the form of repeated symbols, dreams, unexpected encounters, or even obstacles that redirect them toward a different path. Many individuals who have experienced major life shifts, whether in relationships, careers, or personal beliefs, often look back and realize that synchronicities were guiding them all along. The mystical traditions of various cultures have long emphasized the role of signs, omens, and divine messages in guiding human life. In indigenous traditions, nature is seen as a living, conscious force that communicates through animals, elements, and celestial movements. A bird appearing at a specific moment, a sudden change in the wind, or an animal crossing one's path is often interpreted as a meaningful sign, indicating a shift in one's journey. In Western mystical traditions, the concept of divine providence suggests that the universe is not random, but rather a conscious, intelligent force that offers guidance in mysterious ways. Synchronicity also plays a key role in deepening one's connection to intuition. The more a person recognizes these meaningful coincidences, the more they develop trust in their inner knowing. Intuition is often dismissed in modern society, where logic and rationality are prioritized, but those who embrace the reality of synchronicity understand that the mind is not the sole navigator of existence. The heart, the gut, and the soul all provide insight that cannot always be explained logically. By following these intuitive nudges and paying attention to synchronicities, one begins to experience a deeper sense of connection with the unseen forces that shape reality. Modern psychology is beginning to explore the connection between spirituality, synchronicity, and human consciousness. Studies on meditation, altered states of awareness, and near-death experiences suggest that the brain may act as a receiver rather than the sole generator of consciousness. If this is true, it would mean that our awareness extends beyond the physical self and interacts with a greater field of intelligence. Jung's idea of the collective unconscious supports this view, suggesting that all human beings are connected by a vast, shared reservoir of symbols, archetypes, and information that transcend time and space. One of the most mysterious aspects of synchronicity is its ability to transcend time. Many individuals have reported precognitive synchronicities, instances where they receive signs or insights about future events before they occur. These experiences challenge the conventional understanding of time as a linear structure and suggest that reality may be far more fluid than we assume. In quantum physics, theories such as retrocausality propose that the future can influence the present, echoing the idea that time is not fixed but malleable. If synchronicities are glimpses into this hidden structure of time, then they may be guiding us toward futures that are already in motion. Ultimately, the role of synchronicity in spiritual awakening is to remind us that we are not separate from the universe, but deeply interconnected with it. Every thought, action, and moment of awareness is woven into the greater whole, shaping our path in ways we may not fully understand. When synchronicities occur, they invite us to step beyond the limitations of the rational mind and embrace the mystery of existence. They teach us to trust, to listen, and to recognize that life is not happening to us, but unfolding through us. For those who experience synchronicity, the question is not whether these events are real, but what they mean. Each moment of alignment, each perfect timing, and each meaningful encounter serves as a whisper from the universe, urging us to wake up and see the magic that has always been present. Whether one views these occurrences as divine messages, reflections of inner transformation, or glimpses into a hidden order, one thing remains clear. Synchronicities are powerful reminders that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. Learning to cultivate and harness synchronicity in daily life requires a shift in awareness, an openness to the unseen connections that shape reality, and a willingness to trust the guidance that arises from these meaningful coincidences. Many people experience synchronicities sporadically, but few actively engage with them as a practice. However, by developing a deeper relationship with these events, one can transform life into a continuous dialogue with the universe, where every moment holds potential meaning and every experience becomes part of a greater unfolding pattern. The first step in cultivating synchronicity is developing awareness. Many synchronicities go unnoticed simply because people are not paying attention. In modern society, where distractions are constant and the mind is often preoccupied with worries, schedules, and obligations, it is easy to overlook the subtle signs that the universe presents. By practicing mindfulness and presence, one can begin to see the intricate ways in which life communicates. This means slowing down, observing patterns, and being fully engaged with each moment rather than rushing through life on autopilot. One of the simplest, yet most effective ways to develop awareness of synchronicity is through journaling. By keeping a record of meaningful coincidences, repeating patterns, and unexpected encounters, a person can start to recognize themes and connections that might not have been obvious at first glance. Over time, the journal reveals how often synchronicities occur and how they are linked to personal growth, decision-making, or emotional states. Writing down these experiences also strengthens the ability to interpret their meaning, allowing deeper insights to emerge. Meditation is another powerful practice that enhances receptivity to synchronicity. When the mind is quiet, it becomes more attuned to the subtle energies of life. Meditation helps clear mental clutter, allowing for greater intuition and awareness of symbolic messages. Many people report an increase in synchronicities after adopting a regular meditation practice, as their consciousness becomes more aligned with the present moment and the deeper currents of reality. In this state of stillness, the boundaries between the inner world and external reality become more fluid, making it easier to perceive meaningful connections. Trusting intuition is a crucial aspect of working with synchronicity. While logic and rational thinking play important roles in navigating life, intuition often serves as a bridge between the conscious mind and the deeper intelligence that governs existence. When a synchronicity occurs, it is essential to pay attention to the immediate feeling or thought it evokes. Often, these events come with a sense of knowing, an inner certainty that they are significant. Instead of dismissing them as random, one should ask, what is this trying to tell me? What decision or realization is this event guiding me toward? One of the most fascinating aspects of synchronicity is its ability to guide people toward the right opportunities, relationships, and paths in life. Many individuals who have experienced profound synchronicities describe them as a form of divine timing, moments where everything falls into place effortlessly. These experiences suggest that when one is aligned with their true path, life begins to unfold with a sense of ease and flow. Obstacles diminish, support appears unexpectedly, and circumstances seem to conspire in favor of the individual's highest good. However, synchronicity does not only manifest through positive reinforcement. Sometimes obstacles or disruptions serve as signs that one is moving in the wrong direction. For example, repeated difficulties in a particular situation, such as failed attempts at a job, persistent conflicts in a relationship, or continuous roadblocks in a project, may indicate that it is not the right path. Rather than forcing things to happen, it is important to recognize when synchronicities are signaling the need for change. The universe often communicates through both alignment and misalignment, guiding individuals toward or away from certain experiences based on their greater purpose. Another way to cultivate synchronicity is by setting clear intentions. While synchronicity often appears spontaneously, it is also influenced by thought, emotion, and focus. By setting an intention, whether it be for clarity, guidance, or a specific outcome, one can create a magnetic pull that attracts meaningful coincidences. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the power of intention, teaching that the universe responds to the energy one emits. When an intention is set with sincerity and openness, synchronicities often follow as a way of confirming or assisting in its manifestation. Gratitude and appreciation further amplify the presence of synchronicity. The more one acknowledges and expresses gratitude for these meaningful moments, the more frequently they seem to occur. Gratitude creates an energetic resonance that aligns one with the flow of life, reinforcing the connection between consciousness and external reality. Many people who practice gratitude journaling or verbal expressions of thanks notice an increase in synchronistic experiences, as if the universe responds more actively when appreciation is shown. Synchronicity also thrives in environments that encourage creativity, spontaneity, and openness. Many of the most profound synchronistic experiences occur when people step outside their comfort zones, travel to new places, engage in creative activities, or explore unfamiliar ideas. This is because synchronicity often arises at the intersection of structure and unpredictability, where the unknown meets the known. By embracing adventure, curiosity, and playfulness, one creates space for unexpected connections and encounters that hold deep meaning. Relationships are one of the most powerful areas where synchronicity manifests. Whether it be meeting a soulmate, finding a mentor, or reconnecting with an old friend at the perfect time, synchronistic encounters often play a pivotal role in shaping human connections. Many of the most important relationships in life begin through seemingly random events that, in hindsight, appear perfectly orchestrated. Recognizing the role of synchronicity in relationships allows one to approach connections with greater awareness, appreciating the mysterious ways in which people are drawn together. For those who wish to deepen their relationship with synchronicity, practicing surrender and non-resistance is essential. Synchronicity is not something that can be controlled or forced. Rather, it emerges naturally when one is in alignment with life's greater intelligence. Attempting to manipulate or chase synchronistic events often leads to frustration, whereas allowing life to unfold with trust and openness invites these experiences effortlessly. Surrender does not mean passivity, but rather a willingness to flow with the rhythm of existence, embracing each moment as part of a larger, meaningful design. Science is slowly beginning to explore the mechanisms behind synchronicity, particularly in the fields of quantum physics, consciousness studies, and the psychology of perception. Some researchers suggest that the human mind may be more connected to external reality than previously thought, with consciousness acting as a participant in shaping events rather than merely observing them. The study of non-local consciousness, the observer effect in quantum mechanics, and the phenomenon of entanglement all point toward the possibility that thoughts, emotions, and reality are interconnected in ways that transcend conventional understanding. Ultimately, the experience of synchronicity serves as a reminder that life is not random or meaningless, but filled with purpose, intelligence, and hidden connections. By cultivating awareness, trusting intuition, embracing spontaneity, and practicing gratitude, one can strengthen their relationship with these meaningful coincidences. Synchronicities are whispers from the universe, guiding individuals toward growth, transformation, and alignment with their true path. Each person's journey with synchronicity is unique, and no two individuals will interpret or experience these events in the same way. Yet, for those who open themselves to the mystery of meaningful coincidences, life begins to take on a deeper, more profound dimension. The ordinary becomes extraordinary, the unseen becomes visible, and every moment holds the potential for insight, magic, and transformation.